Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be doing an unboxing of the brand new Super Nintendo Entertainment System Nintendo Classic Mini. Now I did intend to get this video out a little bit earlier than this, but due to medical issues that I won't go into, that wasn't actually possible. So we're going to do it now. I'm sure you've probably heard of this. It's been in the news. Nintendo haven't been great about pre-orders for this. A lot of people have had their pre-orders cancelled, and then the places that cancel those pre-orders had them actually in their physical stores. That's more of an American issue. It didn't so much happen over here. I ordered this from Nintendo's official UK website, which is actually not run by Nintendo, so maybe that's why it went a little bit better. But what we're going to do is, I'll show you the box first. You see in the front, it is essentially a small Super Nintendo, as you can see, and it comes with two controllers. The NES Mini that came out last year came with one controller, and the controller cable was like 2 inches long, so it wasn't the best thing to use. I mean, it wasn't 2 inches, but it was like that, like seriously. So you essentially had to have the console right in front of you in order to play it properly. So if you're playing it on a TV, which is quite a long way away, then that's going to cause some issues. I had to buy an extra long HDMI cable just to kind of like get it in a comfortable position without me actually having to sit directly in front of my TV, which I didn't want to do. So I'll show you the back of the box there. It shows you all the games that you get with it there. There's quite a lot. There's 21 games there, including one quite special one. We'll read them out. You've got Super Mario World, Donkey Kong Country, Secret of Mana, F-Zero, Super Castlevania 4, Super Metroid, Final Fantasy 3, Star Fox, Super Mario RPG, Super Mario Kart, Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, Mega Man X, Kirby's Dream Course, Kirby Superstar, which is 8 Kirby games in one, Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Earthbound, Contra 3, Super Punch-Out, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and Star Fox 2, which is a game that has actually never been released before. It was made like quite a while ago, like back when the Super Nintendo was still a thing, and for various reasons it was never made. So this is the first release of Star Fox 2, like in this box. You can't get it anywhere else. You have to unlock it as well. You unlock it by playing like the very first level of Star Fox, which is pretty simple thing to do. In fact, Star Fox is actually the very first game that I played on Super Nintendo. I had the console back when it came out, not as soon as it came out, but a couple years later, and I got Star Fox with it, and that was like the very first Super Nintendo game that I actually played, which I quite enjoyed. I didn't complete it, but I got maybe about a third of the way into it. So I have like quite fond memories of that. Everyone knows Super Mario World as well, Super Mario Kart, and a whole bunch of things. One of the things that really kind of like enticed me to play this console was Secret of Mana as well. I remember playing that when I was a kid around at a friend's house, and that game is awesome. I'm generally not into Japanese RPGs. I like the odd Zelda game, but Secret of Mana is something that really kind of like dragged me in when I was a kid, so I'm looking forward to playing that again. And there's like a hell of a lot of classic games on there. There are stuff missing that you might want, but they're not going to put like hundreds and hundreds of games on this thing. They quite easily could, but it's not something that's going to happen. So let's open this up and see what's inside. Well, I know exactly what's inside because it tells you on the box, but let's get it open. How does it open? Right. Okay. So let's take off that, and here we go. So first thing in top, you've got your manual there. Operations manual. and you've got a code for 300 Nintendo Platinum points there as well. I won't show that code on camera because I want to use it. So yeah, you've got the operations manual, which is just 4 pages repeated in various languages, your warranty information, etc., and your setup page there, which I'm sure it's going to be pretty easy to connect together. Yeah, you just connect the power to a USB plug and stick your HDMI cable in, you're good to go. So the console itself, this is actually smaller than I thought it would be, actually. I mean, I was expecting it to be small, but this is like quite tiny. It is very, very nice. I like that. I like that a lot. It almost kind. I know that the cartridge slot isn't functional, but it does kind of feel odd that you can't just like push that in. I know it's a weird thing, but your buttons work. Well, obviously your eject button doesn't work because you can't put a cartridge in, but your power on, power off, and your reset button there as well. And your controllers go. I was going to say your controllers go in the front, but they don't, do they? Are they wireless? I'm not entirely sure. They might actually be wireless controllers, because it doesn't look like they can plug into the front of that. So let's have a look. Okay, what else we got in the box? Okay, you've got your power cables. Let's see. What am I missing here? There's your power cable and your HDMI cable there. Now these controllers do have a connector, but I don't quite see where they plug in. So let's take one out. It's a standard size controller. You wouldn't want like a mini size controller because it's just going to make games awkward to play. So there's your controller. Feels like a Super Nintendo controller, which is what you want. You've got your shoulder buttons, and you do have your connector there. I just don't see where it plugs in on this. Unless I'm missing something major, I really don't see where the controller goes in, because there's no slot for it there. I mean, that doesn't come out. Let me have a look at the manual, and that will tell me exactly how to connect the controller, I'm sure. Aha! The mini controller port here actually opens up. So, like so. Okay, yeah, and then you plug your controllers in there. So I was worried for a minute there. I thought, have they sent me like a bit of a dodgy thing where they forgot to put controller connections in it, and that just snaps back in there. So yeah, you've got your 2 controllers, which is good because they only gave you 1 controller last time. So if you wanted to play 2-player games, you had to pay an extra 30 odd quid to buy a second controller, which was a bit shit, but it's also like very Nintendo. So I'm very, very glad that they kind of like learned from that and gave you 2 pads here, because obviously you've got stuff like Street Fighter 2. It's like who wants to play Street Fighter 2 against a computer? You want to get a friend around and like both play that, which I'm actually planning on doing later this week. So yeah, that is brilliant. So I'm looking forward to plugging this in and checking it out. So yeah, that was the Super Nintendo Classic Mini. It's quite a mouthful, that title, but yep, Super Nintendo Entertainment System Nintendo Classic Mini. It's a little bit convoluted, but I am going to enjoy the games on that. I do wish there were more games on it, but you know, they're all kind of like mostly Nintendo games. You've got some Konami on there as well, and a few other companies, but like Capcom. But yeah, generally, I guess is kind of down to the individual copyright holders as well, whether they want to allow the kind of thing on the system, whether they want to allow their games on it. So they were probably limited by that, but I don't think they were quite limited to 21 games. But you know, that argument's been made 100 times over, so I won't kind of like add to that really. So yeah, I'm looking forward to plugging this in rather, and checking it out, which I'm going to be doing this evening. So that was it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, please click like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time.